Gary Thompson. Hello. Yes. How you doing? Yeah, I think we need a little touch up. Yeah. Yeah, we were doing early in the morning. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Let me. I'm in a commissioner meeting right now, but I'll check my calendar and I'll give you a call back. How about that? All right. Thank you. Bye. Sorry.
All ready? Gary, you ready?
Sure.
All right. All right, we'll do our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. David, would you offer?
Sure. Heavenly Father, we come to you today just asking you to watch over this meeting, watch over our county employees as they go about their duties this week, and help our commissioners to make the decisions that are good for our county and according to your will. In Jesus' name, amen.
Very law. There you go. Well, good morning, everyone. I've reviewed last week's minutes. Make a motion that we approve them.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Reviewed the claims, and I'll make a motion we approve those in the amount of $150,313.77.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Have the sheriff's report. Get out there too.
Okay. What else you got? Well, the Justice Center update is not here. That's okay. AMR, you want to go first?
Good morning, Galen Anderson with AMR. We finished out October with 68 transports, which was a relatively busy month. So next week I'll have the breakdown by district and city and all that data for you. Other than that, things are coming along with paperwork for the SUV for getting it titled and inspected and all that. So should have that in service sometime in the next couple of weeks. So, and then today and tomorrow we'll be working on ordering that piece of equipment I talked about. That's the automatic chest compression device. And then when that comes in, we'll be doing training with all our crews, and that'll be in the supervisor vehicle as well. And we'll bring it over when the SUV and that piece of equipment are all in place like we want it, and let you guys take a look.
You've been talking to Sean. I noticed the door's on, the big door at the barn up there in Lacey.
Good. Yeah, it's coming along. I haven't talked to him about
So
it.
I think he might have an update for you when
Okay,
it'll be
excellent.
completed, so.
Excellent. Appreciate it.
Anything else?
Nope.
You guys got any?
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good week.
Sean? Would you get Sean or just yell at him for me, please?
Sean West, Public Works Administrator. Storage building out back, the update, the building's down. We were able to get a contract and waiver signed last week, and they've got all but a little bit of cleanup. I anticipate it'll be on track and on time for next Monday. I have a lease agreement that needs signed for the Cash Farm property.
Did you look at it?
Yeah, I wrote it. This is lease to the Clifton, who leases a small acreage over there from us at Chesson.
Are you good with it?
Yep. Motion?
Is it for 3 years? How long is it for?
It's an additional 3 years. This is a renewal.
Okay. This is a cash farm lease going into, and we're just doing it over with the same individual, right?
Right.
Where's his name at?
Sherry Clifton.
So
Oh, Sherry Clifton. With Sherry Clifton on a property over by Pleasanton there. So it's my motion that we go ahead and enter into this lease for an additional, it's 14.2 acres, more or less, on that property. Same property as she's had before.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye.
you might want to look this over. It's a change order that we already basically talked about. It's got to be approved today.
The next thing I have is crawl can burial permits on State Line Road. They have several burials that they're doing across that area, but only 2 are in the area that we maintain based on the agreements that I could see in the roadway that we have. They're going to cross 2 of our maintained roadway areas, and I had Harry look at it this morning and sign off on it as well. Simple ones are the ones that.
Did you already get the check?
Yes, it's in the envelope attached to it. Let's see.
Look it over. Oh. Haven't even voted on it. What else you got while he's looking it over?
Olathe Freightliner that we discussed last week. I made contact with them about the extended warranties. They are getting with the manufacturers about the warranties and going to get back with me.
Are they fixing our truck in the meantime?
Yes, they're currently ordering all the parts. The engine that they quoted to us was not the engine. When we looked at the warranty work and talked to them about that, they realized they quoted the wrong engine. But have told me that that's not going to be an issue. They've got everything lined out and ordering the right parts for it and going to stick to what we discussed last week. I was somewhat concerned when they said they quoted the wrong one, but I was assured that that wouldn't be an issue. All district, we've taken an oil tanker down to Coastal to have them look at it to see. They couldn't tell us what it would take to clean it out unless it was there on site. So we'll shortly have a bid for a cleaning on that. Park, I contacted Evergy and made contact with the legal department. We should have an extension on the old park lease sometime tomorrow or the next day. The reason we needed that extension is for some paperwork as far as our renter at the park house or the caretaker's house. It was necessary to do some things with the state Kansas.
We can't get the grant funding we need for that without having the lease in.
Okay.
Since the lease is technically expired, they're going to give it to the state.
And they had no problem with it. And they also at the same time told me that they're looking, the same individual was working on the actual park lease and told me we should look towards the late December for that park lease to come back to us. Noxious weeds, looks like he's still on track and doing well. We again met on Friday morning, covered the updates for the previous week, and he may start testing as early as late November and start taking that series of 3 tests. So he's well on track and staying on pace with things. Maintenance, the lacing project, the door's up, the heater's in. They had some little bit of plumbing to finish up to the heater itself, and we scheduled another walkthrough for this Thursday.
I went by and looked at it. It looked really good. I guess I'd probably went right by after they put the doors on, so.
Yep, I've been up there too.
I don't know whether the yard work's been done, but there's some gravel and some dirt work. and
When you
stuff.
expect to be turn it over to AMR?
I should have that this Thursday after we go through and do the walkthrough. I should have a good firm timeline.
You gotta do some carpet cleaning and stuff? Is that what you gotta do?
We will have to do some cleaning. He'll have some cleaners in the building as well, cleaning up some site stuff.
Okay.
Flooring at AMR, I'll walk through with the contractor tomorrow afternoon and look at the Pleasanton building for the carpet install. And planning and zoning is going to speak directly to you on several issues, so I'll let Bobby handle that. And if I could, I need 5 minutes for legal and 5 minutes for personnel.
So this is crawl can that, is it three more crossings?
2 crossings.
2 crossings? I'll make a motion that we, will pass this, permit. And you got a BP number, burial permit number?
I don't have a number yet, I'm sorry.
We need one though.
Let me grab that from Joyce.
So we'll just hold off on that motion until he gets the, number.
Bill not going to be here today.
Yeah.
Accident on the way here.
Okay.
But I do have paperwork on the change order 10, which we've already approved the gist of it. This is where we changed from asphalt to concrete for this parking area here. If you recall, they made it an adjustment of $108,904 total. All of which is going to be covered by other contingencies, but for now, it's just coming out of our general contingency.
Did it include this space in here? Was that exempt?
It includes this space.
Okay.
So now was what I was looking for was the number that was originally for the asphalt. Do you know what that is? It the?
It should be in there. I didn't bring that entire file. I just brought the change order from
It's 2021-07 on that burial permit. While he's looking at that, no, let's go ahead and finish this permit for crawl can. Crossing the road twice, already been looked at by Harry, our road crew. It's burial permit number 2021-0-07. I'll make a motion. We approve that.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Well, the 92 is the additional on the.
What else you got?
Concrete, and then there
That's it for me.
That's it.
Bobby will be speaking to you directly about all the things that he needs on planning and zoning.
And most of that's gotta go through him. Bobby's got some resolutions he needs passed, but we need to have Gary look at it
These are
first.
allowances that we're not
Oh,
gonna
they're
use.
just allowances just in case, okay.
These are allowances in other departments that we're not gonna use, it's like, so he said there's at least this much.
Oh, it's still back into the fund.
That, this more that covers this. That's what they're, that's what this is.
Okay.
And then, oh,
I don't have anything. Well, I'll get you in there for your. You got a lot, Doug? He's already out on a call this morning. Was you on 69? Come on up.
this is. Plus in the.
Year to date, we're at 369 calls for service. This past week, we had one EMS assist, one grass fire, one vehicle fire, and then we had two other type fires, which turned out to be false alarms. One, they turned their heating system on, created some smoke and fumes, and the second one, a fire alarm went off because of burning toast. So, calls for the week. And we've had two already this morning, so.
Did you get the building repaired yet?
No.
Okay.
Looks like there will be a killing freeze expected by the end of the week. There are temperatures below freezing towards the end of the week in the late night, early morning hours. So if you have any plants, bring them indoors. In the last 2 weeks, we've had two incidents with our vehicles. We hit a deer just a little over a week ago with one of our SUVs, did about $2,000 worth of damage. Police report was made on that. Everything was done according to county policy. And then unfortunately last week, we had a door up on a truck that went through the wall of a station, sheared the door off of one of our trucks and damaged the station and one of the doors at the station. Again, we followed all proper protocols, drug screen, et cetera, for the operator of the vehicle. We're working to get statements now and still investigating the cause of that particular situation. I met with 3 contractors last week, showing them the station, hoping to get bids in this week so we can work to get that fixed, get our door back in service. And then we'll work to get an estimate for repairing the truck. It did shear the door off of the truck, happened to be one of our newest trucks. So we've reached out to the manufacturer to see what it would cost to get a replacement door. And we'll work with a local person to see what it would cost to get the door repaired, if it's repairable, and get those estimates to David so we can get them into the insurance company.
Okay.
And that's all I have unless you have anything for me this morning.
Did you say, I was talking to Gary, did you, the painting, did you say anything about that?
They've started the painting. They're working at station 920. They've got the primer on. This morning they were putting the white color on for the trim and doors and so forth. And then I know they've been to at least 2 other stations power washing already, so.
Seems like everything's going good.
I assume so. I don't really know. Unfortunately, I wouldn't know if it wasn't, because I don't know anything about how they do it or what they do. But we've asked Danny Nation to come look at it just to see, because he does have experience in that, so.
Okay. Well, you got anything?
I don't have anything.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You can explain everything Gary explained to you.
I'm
just messing with you.
This is change order, so this is showing the additional cost.
Right.
Going from asphalt to concrete.
Which we talked about
And
in that conversation.
the additional concrete was around 92 or 94,000, plus there were some other additional costs, cutting and some other things that brought the total change to 108,000.
Right.
That 108,000 is coming for now out of our general contingency fund, but we have other contingencies in separate parts of the contract that we're not gonna use, that will go back into that, that actually amount to more than that. So what they're trying to show us is that it's covered by contingencies.
Now, if we keep this building here, what,
Just a little chunk will come out of that.
The
Price will go down a little
I
bit.
think there'll be a little adjustment there if they do that.
okay.
Okay. And where's the total price that I need to make a motion on? Change order. It's just change order.
Change order is $108,010.
What change order number is it? Okay. You got anything?
I don't have anything.
I'll make a motion that we approve change order number 10 in the amount of 108,000. Where's it at?
There's something about dollars and cents there.
108,904.53.
That amount. That's my motion.
I'll second.
All right, gotcha. Been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
If you'll sign right down there, Rick, on that blank,
Man, you want me to sign this quick, don't you?
don't want to lose it.
All right. Bobby, are you going to say something today? No?
Yes.
You are? Well, come on.
Bob Young, Planning and Zoning Director, Linn County. I have 2 conditional use permits and a zoning change, an exception, and a lot split
Okay.
to discuss with you. The first one, conditional use permit. This CUP 21-03 was a renewal for the operation of an existing quarry, asphalt and concrete plant on property located within Linn County. The planning, or everything was, notices were properly sent out as well as published in the paper. That would have been in September 22nd
Okay.
of 2021. Meeting was held October 12th. At that time, the Planning Commission moved to approve the continued use of that property under the CUP 21-03. They accepted everything. There'd been no registered complaints. Everything was conforms to the character of the neighborhood. Similarly used to nearby properties. The property suitable for the proper use or proposed use. Proposed use would not detrimentally affect nearby properties. Staff recommended approval of the application, and they do conform to the adopted comprehensive plan. They approved it on conditions that continued compliance with all county, state, and federal regulations, and they approved the CUP for a period of 10 years.
And that's normally what we do for those, right? I know we've done them 1 or 2 since I've been.
So your motion, if you decide to approve this as recommended, is to adopt the findings of the planning and zoning board, which he read, and to approve the conditional use permit with the conditions that they include.
Is there any discussion on that?
And then we'll have a resolution too, so.
It's done by resolution.
What's the number on the resolution?
Resolution number that I was given is 2021-30.
Okay.
You say 03 or 30?
30.
And you got it written up how we want it? The motion?
Yeah, I can fill it
Okay.
out.
So I'll make a motion, we pass that with the adopted resolution, with adopted, what we call it?
Adopting the findings.
There you go.
Approving the resolution with conditions.
That's my motion.
I'll second it.
Moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Go ahead.
Okay, the second resolution of 2021-31. This is also, this is for CUP 21-04. This was also basically a renewal for the same company in the property adjacent to where the quarry, or for where the quarry and asphalt plant's at. This is just for quarry mining. It has, been an existing situation for quite a while. And again, the same dates and everything for the notifications were sent out. The hearing was also held on the 12th of October. And the Planning and Zoning Board approved that also with the same findings and same condition as in CUP 21-03.
And what's the number on that? 21 what?
The resolution number
Yeah.
is 2021-31.
I'll make it. Is there any discussion on this? Make a motion that we adopt the findings and pass resolution 2021-31.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you for putting us through our paces. I would like to say Linn County's been very good for us. This is a very good quarry, and we're very grateful to be here, and we'll see you in 10 years.
All right. See Jim.
Okay. Final resolution that I have is resolution 2021-29. And this is for a zoning change.
I'll make the sign off on those two.
Go ahead. Tom, go ahead.
Notification was published in the official newspaper on August 25th of 2021. A meeting was held by the Planning and Zoning Board on September 14th of 2021. At that time, the Planning and Zoning Board approved the rezoning for the purpose of a lot split and eventual sale of portion, for rezoning it from agricultural to an agricultural residential district for the two pieces of property. Proposed change conforms to the character of the neighborhood. Proposed use conforms to the uses of the zoning class nearby. The proposed change will not negatively affect nearby properties. Proposed change conforms to the adopted comprehensive plan. The current grain bins remain with the original owner of remaining property, and a shared easement on current driveway ingress egress. This is located in Section 8, Township 21, Range 24, Linn County. You have any questions on that?
You got anything?
Nope. You just, you'll want to adopt their findings and pass the resolution.
Did they have, I missed that, I guess. Their findings, did they have some?
Yes, let me.
That was 2021-29, right?
Yes. Okay.
Typically on a zoning change, the findings are simply that it's appropriate for the neighborhood and that it's been recommended by the staff, and that it is consistent with the plan, the long-range plan. It's the same basic.
Yeah, and that's what I already read off.
Yeah, he read those, I think.
All right.
So.
So I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution 2021-29 rezoning for the purpose of lot split, adopt the findings. That's my motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye. What else? You got another one?
This does not require a resolution, just basically be your approval of. We had the Linn County Board of Planning and Zoning Board of Zoning Appeals heard case for an exception from John and Julia Smith and co-applicants Fallon and John Peak. This was for the consideration of an exception to the rule of Regulation 12, Article 12.06, one dwelling per lot, under the exception of 1704. They have medical reasons and so forth for taking care of their family, elderly family. The Planning and Zoning Board met with on this October 12th, and it was approved. And at this point, it just needs to be presented to the
So
commission.
what are they doing?
So they're moving the trailer house in on the same tract.
Right.
Their parents are elderly and need assistance. They're moving the trailer house in. We only allow that under an exception.
Right,
And
for a
this-
period of 3 years and reviewable every 3 years.
Okay.
And so, it meets all the
And if they try
requirements.
to sell the property, then it's got to be removed?
Right.
Right.
Unless you agree to continue it for the new owner. Right. And so, I've reviewed it, Bobby's reviewed it, it meets all the requirements. And so you would be just approving the exception with the understanding that it has to be reviewed in 3 years.
Make a motion, we approve the exception and approve it in 3 years. So look at it again in 3 years.
Been moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
How many of those do we have? Do we have very many?
No.
And Bobby, if you can get me copies of all those resolutions and the signature page on this too, then I can scan it all.
What else you got?
Lastly, I
You
have.
got more?
Lastly, I have, this is a lot split agreement for Carl, James and Carla Hazlett. They're wishing to split their lot in order to sell a portion of it to a relative, and then they'll retain the 20 acres. It met with everything that we have on concerning the lot split procedures. My understanding that it just needs to go before you guys.
Actually, the lot split itself, you could approve. If there is a grant of road right of way associated, they have to accept that.
Okay.
Is there one?
No, there's nothing about any problem with the
Okay.
road easement or anything like that.
The way the regulations read, lot splits are approved by the zoning administrator if they meet all the requirements.
Okay. Well, I'm just a little bit confused on this because
You did all right.
the form doesn't say anything about zoning administrator. It just asks for Linn County commissioners and.
Yeah, I think that form needs to be
Attestment to it.
revised. If you read the regulations, as I think you did.
Yeah.
It does say it's approved by the.
Yes, it does say that. Like I said, again, though, I'm looking at the form and
Yeah.
it doesn't have a place
to
for
sign
me
it?
to sign it, so I didn't want to
I think
overstep my bounds.
the regulation says that he signed
So
it.
he signs it by direction or something?
Yeah.
Do that. You know that old Marine Corps stuff, by direction. It's your fault.
Let me just say that Bobby got this job more or less dumped on him by you guys.
James' idea.
And it's a heck of a job, and it can be very overwhelming because there are 1,000 regulations to try to keep sorted out. and he's been frustrated, but he's stuck
He's
with
doing a
it.
fine job. Don't give up, Bobby.
He's doing it, and we're working well together, I think, or, I'm not confusing him
That's
too.
our story,
I'm
right?
not confusing him too much anyway. But he's handling it, and
No, thanks, Bobby. I know it's a lot of work. It
That's
is.
on top of everything else you already did, so
Right.
I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
I have
Is that
nothing
it?
else.
Thank you. He'll get those back to you, or are you done?
I got it. Yeah, you can just copy all that for me, the resolutions and the
Did you already go,
exception where they.
Jessica? Well, who are you?
I've just got a couple of things. The Comprehensive Plan Committee should be here at 10:30 to present. Jennifer Reinhardt will be here from IBTS to talk about the goals that we've set so far and how we're working on writing the plan. And I need some legal time.
yeah,
5 minutes, 10
5
minutes. What do you think? 5 minutes.
I doubt that. Okay. For legal?
Yes,
Okay. That's it?
that's all I got.
I'm just picking on you this morning. All right. Gary, what do you got?
I think nothing.
This is your fault because you got it at 10:30. And if you'd have done it at 10, we'd been on track.
Well, originally she was gonna be 11. Moved it there.
All right. So we're going to go into legal. I'll make a motion. We go into legal for 15 minutes and 5 minutes for personnel.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Start with your personnel.
I'll talk to you.
You suck live in this, so
Yeah, well, yeah. Sales tax.
What are you doing here, Dave?
Once the building is paid for.
For the maintenance, yeah. For all.
Like,
Yeah. All right, there is no action from that. 2 executive sessions.
I'm done.
Dave, do you want to say something? Are you here to talk? Well, we got 20 minutes still. We can just chat away. Because as bad as David wants to get out here today because of the election tomorrow, and that remind everybody about the election, he can't leave because he set a meeting at 10:30.
Never seen you guys get through.
And we ran out of time already because we don't have anybody to talk to. Mike, you want to make a speech? So we may just take a little break here, if nothing else. You got anything you want to talk about today? It's a great time to talk about something. Anywhere, I'll pick on you. Anywhere on the senior center?
No, I can talk to Pleasant and get a for sure answer on the electrical, separate electrical box. It was just mentioned. I'll try to get a for sure answer on it tonight. Do they have city council tonight?
Is Bunker Hill over here, they're back open, but we haven't let them rent that building out at all. I don't think yet, have we? For other parties and stuff, other events.
I thought they did start using
Did
it
they?
again.
Okay.
I believe so.
Oh, you did? Okay. Probably did that illegal. We're gonna have to fine you.
What was the? I got the email from.
You got anything, Gary? All right. So I'll make a motion. We take a recess for 20 minutes. That's my motion. Moved and second. All in favor? Aye.
mind you, take a recess, you can't talk business with each other.
Tell Danny. He's always talking to me.
You know the beer.
Yeah. You want to leave? Okay. Thank you, sir. We'll call you if we get in trouble.
All right. You know where to find me.
Hey, there.
All right. So Jessica, you want to introduce, or what do you got?
Okay, so hello. We have Jennifer Reinhardt from IBTS is here today to talk about our comprehensive plan. We have David Fisher and Rich Morrell also here to, they're on our committee and they're going to help answer any questions or anything you guys have for us. I have a draft of our vision, values, and goals that I'm going to pass out, and then Jennifer's going to come up and kind of talk a little bit.
Cool.
I just put. Yeah, I brought one up. Okay, we started? Okay. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Jennifer Reinhardt. I'm here with IBTS. Thank you for, I guess, inviting me here, the opportunity to update y'all on the comprehensive planning process. So you have before you a draft document that the committee members have been hard at work at. As you all know, community engagement has been a really strong component of our charge. And so between the public meetings and the 2 public surveys and different conversations, that really informed the document you see before you, which outlines looking ahead 20 years for the county, a draft vision, kind of the overarching vision for 20 years, what people would like to see to kind of guide the plan. Some values, says going through and kind of to organize the goals and the objectives. And then we organized the various goals that came up as community values under 5 main topics. We have mobility and infrastructure, and 3 under that, economic growth and vitality, quality of life, future land use, and implementation. And so we wanted to get a chance to, early in this process, to get this document in front of you all to, if you wanted to share, or just, some feedback, or just to update you on the process. And then just so you know, next steps, so we're currently using this as the blueprint, and we're coming up with detailed objectives for each of the goals, and organizing them in a 5-year, a 10-year, and a 20-year plan to help the county and elected officials, decision makers, kind of prioritize how to achieve. Again, one of the biggest charges from the community and the committee members was to make this a useful document that reflects the residents of the county. So that's really been our main goal in putting this together, and having it be, again, a usable document that helps funding priorities, again, to 5, 10, 20 years from now, and can be revised in the meantime. So 5 years from now, if some of these goals have been achieved, we can cross those out. If some new goals come up, we can rearrange them. So that was kind of the overall goal. And so we're here today to share this document. And then another big update is we have several smaller focus groups planned for November. You all might be invited to one focusing more on the zoning regs as we start to have some more specific language, because that will complement the comprehensive plan. So the comprehensive plan will have the overall, the vision, these goals, the objectives, and then the zoning regs will have more of recommended language to maybe change some of the existing districts or definitions in the current development regulations. And again, these will be recommendations that eventually will come before you all to vote on. And we are planning for a public open house in December, because I think it's time now to, since, June or July that we were out? July, yeah. So to update the public and also get some more public feedback now that we have this draft document. So get some more, especially as we craft those objectives per goal. So we're planning an interactive open house in December. And of course, y'all are be invited to that. And what else did I want to update you on? So we're also working on a future land use map that's going to identify some different opportunity areas. And I think other than that, we just wanted to, just the opportunity to share this document, to get any questions or general comments. We thought it was important early on in the process that, especially as these goals are getting crafted, again, they're draft form now, but to get them in front of you all earlier rather than later.
Sure.
And I think, we're joined by other members of the committee if you have any questions for me or for them. But I think that was, I think, most of the updates we wanted to share with you at this point.
So actually, I think the internet and the water that the first two, and those are the main goals that people would like to see accomplished.
Yeah, so when
First, is this a priority list?
this document is not, the one we're currently working on does break them up by that 5-10 year, and those two you brought up right now in the current draft are highlighted in the first 5 years
And I
to
think
focus
with our
on.
FART money funds that we're looking at the broadband already.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's exciting, and the
Yeah.
water too. So,
And I think too, with a lot of the community feedback we've gotten of, okay, so, how are we going to implement this? And so linking it to, funding and priorities, I think showing, that
Right.
county's already working on, as you said, it will be to show that this plan will be a useful document.
The county is in need of rural water, I guess. Is that what the water's?
Is it more lakes or?
Well, the water was, I think it was mostly around, and Roger isn't here, but the Pleasanton area, I think was some of the water quality, and I think when flooding, I think there were something with districts weren't, or there's an issue. So not all of the counties, similar to internet.
did you
Not-
hear from the rural water districts? Have you talked to them?
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, they're calling me to get on the list for ARPA funding for projects.
Right. Okay.
But those would fall under this if they.
Like Pleasanton is in city, right? I mean, it's more of their issue, but like,
And-
It's in the city, yeah.
And they received money already?
They got the ARPA funds.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so the,
I wasn't aware there was a huge water issue outside of.
Lakes don't have water to the home, they have to haul water.
Yeah, there's a lot of areas.
I mean, our infrastructure is aging, so as the rural water districts look at upgrading.
So it's more of a maintenance.
And that is, everything I hear is the number one priority for most people. I mean, and I even had a call this week about somebody
Me too.
sure interested in being able to get it out.
They seemed happy about what we're trying possibly to do. So that's good.
yeah, and related to the water issue is flooding. So we're looking into funds available to upgrade some of the infrastructure, so quality and flooding.
Give me an example.
Of
How do we improve? Are you talking about preventing flooding, or what are you
Well,
talking about?
Yeah, no, exactly. So one idea is to have an engineering firm come in and look at the roads and then figure out, what the recommended to address road flooding, and then also the price tag for that, and if kind of, the feasibility of that.
Yeah.
And then also, I think zoning, if we look at, floodplain management stuff. So that's another, and again, where this is, as we go into the comprehensive plan, we'll have all of those, in more detail. But we wanted to kind of provide the general outline and the bucket items for you all today.
Is there any particular things you wanted to talk about, address while you're here?
Did either of you? I think we wanted just to see if you all had any questions for us, in addition to any of the other items that have been flagged. But I think, the next draft that'll be in front of you will have it, by priority. We'll have the detailed, objectives.
As far as a priority on the internet service for each certain parts of the county, how are we gonna determine that? I mean, because there's more than one area, I guess, is what I'm asking that needs it.
Yeah.
Good question. We haven't got that part figured out. We hope that as we move along, we'll get more clarity on that. But again, I mean, that for quality of life and for good economic impact, we've got to have good, fast internet.
Exactly, I understand that, but I'm just saying, how
We
do,
don't have the answer either. We're working
Yeah.
on it. We hope to find them by the time we get to the end of this project.
Yeah. And Pam, I don't know if she's here, but
She was out at the conference all week.
Oh,
she's
that's
fine
right.
today.
Oh, okay.
Pam Cannon?
Yeah, Pam Cannon. So she had a great idea of using, GIS and having another public survey, now, so she's been working on compiling, a map of the coverage. So contacting the existing companies. But the idea is also to have a public survey so people can identify kind of the quality of their internet, to get kind of more into the just detail that, isn't going to be provided by the providers. And then we could have a targeted or more targeted approach countywide. Once I think getting information will be a first step. And so it seems like working with Pam and the county to, use GIS and maybe this survey to then inform when, proposals come in front of this body.
Tom was talking about the fiber optic the other day coming down through Centerville, Parker, Blue Mountain. And there's a lot of areas still in that west side of the county.
The rural areas, yeah.
Rural areas.
Yeah.
that We really need more towers or some way to get it to people, because there's dead spots.
I think with the shift, the COVID shift of more people working from their home, gives us a real opportunity. If we get proper internet in the county, we can keep more people here to work with them, spend more money, and support local businesses.
Exactly.
Kind of similar.
Yeah.
The Hoodcom deal, you're right. The rural areas, they're not going to run fiber to every individual farmhouse. But the way I understand that is if they get into those small communities, it gives them more opportunity to give them more powerful towers, run fiber directly to their towers to give more service on the wireless side.
That's a question I have,
Yeah.
because you do these for towns and cities and stuff.
Yeah.
So in the bigger cities, like up in Overland Park, where their right of ways, they're obviously running out of space, and I know Google Fiber is big and they just ran a lot of it, but are they trying to like drift away from fiber optic and get more of a better satellite? Or should we be focused on more of a satellite than trying to get fiber optic? What's your opinion on that?
Ooh, I don't have an opinion right now about that. I think and it came up in the committee because this is a 20-year planning document. So we also want to have some flexibility because, new technology is going to come up. So I think though, from what I've heard, I don't know, it seems like broadband was the.
Yes, I can just give you my personal opinion, I would say, my observation. My wife was one of those people that had to work from home during COVID, and so we needed better internet. And we were on the Capital CenturyLink line, and we lived out the.
Which is satellite?
And it was terrible. It just wouldn't work. It wasn't fast enough for her. She's a mental health therapist. She couldn't have counseling sessions with the slow steps. So we had to go to satellite, which is pretty expensive, but at least provides the coverage we want. We love fiber. We love high-speed fiber, but as we've been talking about that, I think that's years and years away to really be practical. So in the short run, 10 years or so, I think we've got to look at this satellite option.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, the issues with today's satellite is latency. So satellite is not good for live because you can't, it's so far away, you can't get it back and forth. But there is some innovation coming. Elon Musk is trying to launch 45,000 satellites.
It's a Starlink.
Yeah, Starlink, which is a lower orbit, which has good latency, which you can get video on. It's a good answer. We don't have any control. We don't know when that's coming. They're opening it up now in the northern states. They've got it along the Canadian border in Canada. They're accepting deposits on it. I've got a deposit on it. So it will be coming, but we don't know when. In the meantime, the fiber, in addition to some wireless, that is something we can promote and we can control. But there may be a satellite.
Yeah.
It may be obsolete in 10 years.
That's what
The Starlink thing comes along. Again, I can just say from my experience, once we got rid of CenturyLink, we went with Hughes net, and we got everything done, and they promised it would work. And then since my wife was doing counseling, the latency issue became the real issue for her. And 5 days after we had Hughes net out there, put all the satellites up and got it all wired. We called and said, this is not gonna work, and this is not what we promised. Well, they gave us all the money back, came back and took the dish, and then we went with Viasat, which has solved latency problem. It's live on, as you go, so.
So the money that we have now is, that we can spend it is for fiber optic. We don't think we can, unless they can tie it into
Satellite.
both.
It's for broadband.
Right.
Which is state.
But you're saying by going with the fiber optic and getting it in these small, it would help for their satellite.
Not satellite, fiber optic to the towns.
Mm-hmm.
But then,
Speaking of non-provider's case, to help their towers.
The tower, yeah.
They can erect a tower and then be able to run fiber optic off of that to get some of these more remote areas. So the tower will receive and then they run fiber optic off the tower. Right now, they don't necessarily have fiber optics going all the time.
We've had two good pitches from two different companies so far, so there may be another company that's interested in coming through. So that's good on you guys. And I guess some of my questions would be on what direction you're trying to go in for building codes.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? And I will just say this before you even tell me that if there's a whole lot of building codes, you won't get a vote for me because I don't want it to end up like Johnson County. So we don't want to have to go hire 3 more people to go run around and inspect. And if he wants to build a fence on his property, they have to come out and measure it, see how high it is, and how many strands of wire and all that. So, I mean, so where are we at on the building? What's the thoughts on the building code? It was brought up, so, or.
And yeah, that was one of the items flagged by the committee to get feedback from the commissioners. Did either as committee members to address building codes, or I could field it?
Richard? I think we're on the same page as you are. I mean, there's areas, especially when we talk about building codes, we're talking about the windmills and all that too. But
We'll set that to the side and the solar power too, because that, to me, that's separate, totally separate. But I'm just talking about the average person in Linn County that wants to build something, or he builds something, or she builds something. Where are we looking at for, what was the thoughts?
Yeah, so if I, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think for that, we wanted to make it so that individuals could construct stuff, but then there would be inspections. So there wouldn't be increased permits, but there would be inspections to.
We're talking about like not fencing so much as maybe electric, make sure that they got their wires. But I mean, we don't have anything set in stone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now, we have footings and what else? The sewer.
Yeah. Yeah, electric was one of the ones. Oh.
No, it's okay. But work on that because.
Yeah.
it's not clear on the committee.
Yeah.
There's different views.
Yeah.
So then, if you're talking about electric, then that means we have to have somebody certified in that.
well, I mean, I worked for a pipeline in Miami County and Johnson County, and it was just like right down to, if you got in the right of way, you had to have permits to dig in the right of way and everything, and it turned into nightmares.
Miami County's like that.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily trying to make it more restrictive, we're kind of trying to update what we have and make sure that it's, up to date. I mean, with standards and conditions.
I mean, permits
Yeah.
are one thing, I think. I mean, I'm all about that. But,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard enough to find a contractor, and it's kind of a risk a homeowner has to take as hiring an individual, and you got to trust them. And I mean, I'm kind of with Rick on that too.
Zoning, tell us a little bit about your zoning, what you're thinking about there.
Yeah, so zoning, we, based on the responses, definitely wanted to address the wind turbine as well as other emerging issues such as the commercial solar arrays, maybe looking at the definition of the home-based businesses, especially when we get internet up to allow, or just to kind of do the audit of the current code and see. So those were, and also looking at housing. So looking to if, accessory dwelling units or just looking at different ways, especially for elderly.
So you're talking about mini homes or whatever they're called, or what are you talking?
That could be, I think right now, it could be mini homes or something, those garage, the granny flats. So just seeing, especially if people have aging parents who want to come. So just looking at maybe providing a lot of option or different types, whether the mini homes or whether that. And so looking at the definitions and then also looking at the current zoning districts, so countywide, and then also working, another issue flagged was cooperation between county and cities and lakeside communities. So ways to, that the county zoning, working with, obviously not going into the cities, but maybe on those border areas, there could be a type of zone that would encourage that back and forth with the county.
November 16th is the date that was most popular for our county city community meeting. At 7 o'clock, we'll be fundraising. Jennifer will be there. We're going to talk about the comprehensive plan and tie in ARPA funding and see kind of how the county as a whole can work together to meet our goals.
Another idea that we're fleshing out is, with the open space and ways that maybe zoning could help preserve some open space. So I think in this next step, and again, when we have the focus group with commissioners and the planning committee to present some options and then figure out what makes sense for the county.
Okay. And go ahead. Somebody had something? So once this is all done, when do you think this whole plan will be finalized?
Yeah, so I think, by the end of the year, if we do the public open house in December, that'll get the feedback. So we'll have most of the content done by the end of the year, and then it would just be finalizing and drafting and then going into the public hearing process to hopefully implement it.
And then once it's implemented, we'll just say that.
Yeah.
In your line of work, do you come back every year or every other year, or
Yeah, so I think in
keep the
terms.
committee together at a semi basis, or?
So that's been a big topic of conversation at the committee level. I think so for me with, my company, I think we would step back, we're certainly, we can come in if wanted, but really, this is, public document. We've talked about maybe the committee staying, and what that might look for as a task force or, to kind of as stewards of the plan. But then and I think right now with the implementation goal for accountability, if 5 years, there's a public process of doing a report card on, okay, what's been accomplished, reevaluating priorities, we could certainly, as a public process, if you all wanted us to come back. But I think as a company, we really, after kind of stewarding this, this is, and that's why getting buy-in, is so key.
Sure.
This is not, we're not trying to cram anything down county's throat here. So, we're here to, willing to assist, but really, as the community to kind of shepherd the plan.
That's kind of the plan to keep it alive. I mean, is it?
Yeah. So I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, I think right now, we don't, and I think that's part of the goal of organizing it by very clear 5, 10, 20-year, prioritizations, is we don't want this to be on the bookshelf or just sitting collecting dust, whether it's evaluating decisions, having, vision, values, these different goals. We want to be a useful document, a helpful document. And then also, so then just related. So we'll have the land use map as part of the comprehensive plan. We'll have recommended text amendments to the zoning regs. And then I think that a good next step for the county will be looking at the zoning map and looking at, implementing the changes with the different districts. So that would be separate to this. But again, as funding comes up, like the ARPA or additional, we hope that this would help be a guide. Because a lot of the legwork of getting the community together, doing all the surveys, getting all this really good information, We hope that it will help, save the county from, the expense of maybe doing that in the year if we consolidate that and get really good feedback as part of this comprehensive process.
Committee members express interest in staying on the committee or to help with the implementation. Like help keep us on track.
So,
2 years or 4 years.
I would say a committee chairperson. And
Yeah.
like you said, a small task force of the committee, to keep us on track. To say, hey, we're doing this, and this.
Yeah.
And we've got no progress in whatever.
Yeah.
It is, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's helpful to all of us because the last couple of these, I don't know, but I would assume nothing really happened because it didn't sound like it did. So this could be very beneficial or just a document that we set to the side and not do anything. And I'd rather not do that.
Well, and we're trying to make it, the other thing that we've really stressed is to make it reader friendly, so you
Yeah.
can look at this and know what our goals are. You don't have to dig through 140 pages. to
Yeah.
figure out-
Sure.
So this is something we can give out to the public?
Yeah, this right now I think is, yeah.
Something we can like put with like a building permit and like just send it with them to get it out? I mean, is that a way to implement this into society?
Say that again, I didn't
If
follow.
somebody's coming and apply for like a building permit, is it
Oh, yeah.
just like hand out with it, with a building permit?
Well, maybe the zoning regs that apply to the building permit could go with them if they're updated. This will be posted on our website.
Yeah.
If someone wants a copy of it, they can have a copy of it. We're gonna have appendices, with community information and demographics and things like that attached with it. It's not gonna be this one, it's gonna be more than just this front back page.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know the answer to that yet.
Yeah.
We can certainly strategize to get it out there in the public.
Yeah.
But it will be available.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like the idea of maybe having a one-pager handout, again, that's designed and user-friendly, that just has or summarizes the comp plan. And then every 5 years, there'll be that report card. So I like the idea of making it, publicly accessible and just getting it out there for people to help guide their decisions too, maybe.
This is an economy, it's extended life of the power plant. What
Yeah.
is this committee, can you elaborate on that a little bit? What you guys talk about on that?
Yeah, so did it drive you or I could?
I think we just identified.
Yeah.
Committees come up with the idea of how magic pill, magic button to push to make that happen. Besides educating the entire county how important it is and getting the county to work towards keeping them around.
I think we've identified reaching out to their government relations and just having that.
Energy, work together to see if they can, if not, leave it the way it is, maybe convert it to something that they can operate out there.
I think it's really important that we get, start getting a plan together.
Yeah.
Figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, and we got State Senator Tyson and some others working on, and that's important for us to stay close contact with too.
Yeah, with something as big as this,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we're not going to be able to do anything at our level, basically. We can, but that's the level we want and higher if we want to accomplish anything. I only have a couple more questions. Quality of life, amenities, go over that for me.
Yeah, sure. So that came up with a lot of the responses to the surveys and the just conversations we've been having with, community center, the idea of, a rec center or just countywide. And again, working with existing communities with placement of that. But I think the general sentiment was having more activities for residents and, whether seniors or youth, and looking at that. And I think right now we're looking at that being the longer term plan to flesh out, and also based on responses that wasn't, the top 10 identified by the community, but it was still identified as something that people, were positive about. So did that answer your question of, okay.
All right. Housing?
Yep, housing. So a lot of that came with, and there's going to be overlap with some of these categories. So with the zoning, like I mentioned, just looking through and seeing, especially when we're looking at options for senior citizens or for just just people who want more different choices of the types of housing. So to have in the code just different options and then where that could be in the county. And then also, I was going to say with building conditions, that also came up. So to look at rehabilitating some of the more dilapidated stock and how that might be achieved.
So housing, the Office of Rural Prosperity has a housing investment tool to help communities identify problem areas or areas that could use more attention to help get them more agreeable or attractive. And then once you go through that process, it's a pretty detailed, in-depth work process to go through that housing assessment tool. But then once you get all the way through it, they can help connect you with resources to accomplish the goals that they set out in there.
Isn't that more of the cities though, than it would be for the county? I mean,
Yes,
so how does that fit into the comprehensive plan if it's mostly on the cities? I mean, with the cities. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got you.
Yeah, and I think one of the comments of from our committee was, countywide, increasing this, even if it's in the cities, is of benefit to the county as a whole. So where it makes sense, if the county can help facilitate or partner, then that would again benefit the county as a whole.
And you've talked about the housing problems as a group?
This committee,
Yeah. So their biggest problem was what? With housing?
We've got quite a few properties.
And well, and the reason for that is why? Did you come up with that solution? It's because, like, for example, in Lacine, that almost 60% of the homes are rental, right? According to the mayor, it might be higher. I think I got the number pretty close. And then when the house is too dilapidated, they tear it down and the guy next to it buys the lot and nothing ever gets done. Yeah, those are the biggest problem.
Underlying, yeah.
Which cuts the city down because they don't get taxes.
Makes it harder to attract businesses if there's,
Sure.
housing. So
Yeah.
it's a big circle and we have to just
Yeah.
jump in somewhere and pick which one we're gonna do first.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions. I thank you for that.
Yeah.
You have anything else you want to?
Just,
Rich does.
I just want to say, this has been a really good experience for me. I came back here, I grew up here and came back to retire after 42 years of working in higher education. And everything about administration in higher education is very collaborative. I think this is the most collaborative group I've worked with in my career, even in higher education. You commissioners ought to give yourself a pat on the back, because this company we've got, IBTS, is really, really good. They have steered us and they've helped us and they've done really, really good work. Jessica has just done yeoman's work.
How much did she pay you?
You all- On top of all that, you picked the heck of a committee. Every member of this committee has special interests. They're on there because they've got some special interests. But I can tell you, to this point, there's not a person on this group that has their special interest above the interests of the county. It's really a dynamic group.
Good.
So you guys are to be commended.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's why it took me so long to find my people.
Yeah, there you go. Dave, you want to talk about windmills or anything? Hey, I want to thank Dave for all your efforts out there at the airport too. We appreciate that. Appreciate it. And she mentioned what are they called? Notams. 15 times in her speech last week. It's pick on Jessica Day if you don't have it noticed, but.
well, I wanted to thank Jessica and the committee members because they're all volunteering and really, and I didn't pay Richard, but really from my perspective, having committed groups who, show up, volunteer their time, come to consensus, do a lot of, it's really, really important stuff. And lastly, so we want to thank you for this. So building codes task force, I'll take that back to the committee as we go down in the next step of kind of the nitty gritty. priority. And for you all to expect with what comes next, we're going to go down, have objectives per category, also have, like you mentioned with housing or the power plant, some of these larger issues, the plan will do kind of a focus on it, whether with mapping or whether with different. So what we really want, again, the plan to be concise, but also have some good content to help, even if it's just different options to consider. And so we're really looking at infusing that with the plan. And I guess next steps we'll let you know with the public open house in December. And I think sometime, maybe not before Thanksgiving, but I'll work with Jessica as we start with those with the zoning regs. We'd like to get a workshop with some, the officials to get feedback on some of that content too. So thank you.
Thank you.
And more soon.
All right. What do you got, David?
I'm done.
Want to go into executive session?
Thanks for
30
what all
minutes.
you guys are doing.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Dave, we beat your time.
Thank you. Anybody want to come work with me about 14 hours tomorrow?
Start without us, we'll be there sometime.
Last Monday after commissioners, I worked 47 hours straight.
You did?
Yeah, I had to get a job done.
You need to hire